Olympia Brown was born in the state of Michigan in 1835, and in her 20s she attended the Theological School of St. Lawrence University, a Universalist seminary, despite the fact that the president of St. Lawrence at the time directly stated he didn't think women were called to the ministry. She completed all her studies and was ordained as a minister in the Universalist Church in 1863. It is often thought that she was the first woman ordained in the Universalist denomination, but there is a record relating that Lydia Ann Jenkins was ordained with full denominational authority a few years earlier. Although there had been women preachers among some groups, such as the Quakers, for many years, it was still very rare for a denomination in the United States to approve of women's ordination in the 19th century. About 10 years before Olympia Brown became a minister, Antoinette Brown Blackwell had been ordained in a Congregationalist church, but that was done without the formal support of the denomination. Despite sharing the same surname, Brown, Olympia and Antoinette were not related, although they did know each other, and both have gone down in history as effective advocates for women's rights. After her ordination, Olympia Brown went on to pastor Universalist churches in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Wisconsin. She also worked with Susan B. Anthony in the women's suffrage movement. And after years of labor with countless people involved, the 19th Amendment was finally passed in August of 1920, meaning that Olympia Brown and millions of other women in the United States could finally vote. In that same year, she returned to speak at a Universalist church in Racine, Wisconsin, where she had been a minister. She emphasized how much value she believed there was in the Universalist faith.
Stand by this faith. Work for it and sacrifice for it. There is nothing in all the world so important as to be loyal to this faith which has placed before us the loftiest ideals, which has comforted us in sorrow, strengthened us for noble duty, and made the world beautiful. Do not demand immediate results, but rejoice that we are worthy to be entrusted with this great message, that you are strong enough to work for a great true principle without counting the cost. Go on finding ever new applications of these truths and new enjoyments in their contemplation, always trusting in the one God which ever lives and loves.
Only 6 years later, at the age of 91, Olympia Brown passed away in Baltimore, but had impacted the nation greatly, not only with her preaching of a grand and hopeful faith, but with her persistent efforts to gain equality for women in the country.